and right into the stretch. Looking back and throws up the middle. Rose is on his way around. Picked up by Otis.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the ready or not. How you like me now? I say, here comes the boom, ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Boom, here comes the boom, ready or not. How you like me now?
You don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati.
You are watching live to the best damn Cincinnati sports podcast this side of the Bengal barn. We got Bengal Dad. I'm Santori Miles. How we doing?
I'm feeling a little fuzzy today.
We're 1-0. Energy.
I'm fuzzy.
Energy.
I'm saving it for Sunday.
Save it for Sunday.
I'm still spent from Sunday.
Before we get too far, we got to go back to what we're supposed to do and thank the people that helped pay for the show. I want to start with Chop Shop 513. Our friend Pork Chop. Go to Chop Shop 513. Get you this wonderful T. Higgins shirt. They even got Rally Around the Natty gear. I need to get pictures of it. We got buttons, we got koozies, we got T-shirts, we got all kinds of shit. Next, Script Coffee up in Lebanon, Ohio. They got coffee. They got great ice cream. They got all kinds of good stuff up there. Greg's favorite, Midwest Best Barbecue. Go see Tim. Go see Nicole. Get you some ribs. Get you some cornbread. It's good eating. And last, but certainly not least, imagine, if you will, you just watched Joe Burrow get the shit beat out of him by the Cleveland Browns for 4 quarters. You came out victorious. You're licking your wounds. You're a little sore from week 1. What do? You sit down. Put on a fireplace. It's football season. Put on a chili. Get you some Brittinghorn Meadery. I don't know. Is it beer? Is it wine? It's some kind of alcohol. The Vikings liked it. It looks like it's in some kind of a horn over there. Use our code HOODAY9, 15% off. Basically covers the shipping on 2 bottles of orders. Order 2 bottles. Jesus, Joseph and Mary. Can't talk today. Even Delaware. I want to keep everything kind of segmented today, and I want to keep baseball and football instead of bouncing back and forth. It's a good anniversary today in the sports world, not the political world, but the sports world. 40 years of 4192. You were there, along with a million other people who said that they were there, but I know you were actually there.
I was there with probably about I don't know if there were 52,000 people there or not, because it took 3 days for him to get that hit.
We'll call it your 49,000 closest friends.
Right.
Walk me through it.
You through it.
What was the buzz like in the stadium in that first inning?
I mean, it was the same every one of his at-bats that whole series. It's just anticipation. It was cool. You just knew it was going to happen. It was a matter of when. You wanted to capture the moment. I remember I was there and I had my little Walkman, or I could record into it, and I was trying to announce the hit. So he gets the hit. I'm calling it. I'm feeling pretty cool in the stands calling it. I have something to remember the rest of my life. But as luck would have it, didn't check my batteries.
Oh, journalism 101.
Never got to record the hit.
Oh,
but
my God.
It doesn't take away. I was there with my mother. It does not take away just the feeling of just watching a moment that you knew. That's something that's never going to be eclipsed. Nobody plays the game that long anymore. Just a showering of ovation and love and appreciation. That's a fantastic moment. I think it lasted 8 minutes, and I really didn't even want the game to keep going. You just wanted to just continually soak in what just happened. That's the moment. I mean, you knew it was a hit pretty much when he hit it, and it was awesome. It was a typical aging Pete Rose, opposite field, line drive, and it's just let the ball get deep on him, hit it the other way. It's just what he did.
Right. You feel old? 40 years of that?
When you say 40 years, yeah, I feel old. I mean, definitely I feel old.
I mean, I kind of brought it up to you right before the show started.
Mm-hmm.
And you went, 40.
I didn't even realize that was today, but I mean, I've made the comment so many times that, you know, it happened to align with, unfortunately, what happened in 2001 as far as the date.
Mhm.
But no, I mean, that was a remarkable night. I remember it was either after the first or the second game, because it was a 3-game series against the Padres. And I think he got the hit on a Wednesday night, if I'm not mistaken. And he did not get a hit in the first or second game. And it was either between the first game and the second or the second and the third. And if people remember Riverfront Stadium, there were 13 gates. It's kind of weird they had 13 and they had such a successful team. But there were 13 gates that went around the stadium that you'd see from the plaza level outside the stadium. And there were two ticket offices, one on the east and one on the west side. I don't know which one I was at. But we were standing in line to get tickets for the next game. And Marge Schott is, if you can kind of, do you remember the gates? You may not even understand what I'm talking about, these 13 gates.
I remember the stadium being imploded, and I believe I was 8 years old.
So
Gate
you got,
structure was not there yet.
So you got the round stadium, and on the outside, it had ramps that went up and down. It's just like a wave of a river.
Right, I know that.
And every one had basically picture it like a patio, and there were 13 of them, and it was like the king or whatever would come out and address address everybody. It was just built in that fashion. And Marge Schott was right there by the ticket office, but she was up in one of those gates, and she had tickets in her hands. This is like a Who concert moment. And she was throwing tickets for the next game just out to the crowd. And the crowd's just scrambling around trying to get tickets so they don't have to buy tickets. And she was just throwing tickets out to the masses. It's just one of those things that nobody ever talks about. Most people probably don't know that was really happening. But it was just one of those – it was just part of that whole 3-day circus that was underway and to watch Rose get that hit. And frankly, probably the more exciting game was when he got 41-91 against the Cubs because he got 3 hits in that game. I was scared to death he was going to get a 4th hit. I don't think he got another at bat after he got 41-91. I don't know what he would have done. I don't know if he would. There's no way he would have won
Chicago,
hit
right?
on the road. Yeah, it was
in
in
Chicago. Yeah,
it was a Sunday afternoon game. And I don't know if he'd have wanted to get that hit or I don't think so. It's like Hank Aaron, he hit 714. I was at that game too. Or when it was, I don't know if I was at that game, but he hit 714 against the Reds on opening day in 1974. I don't think he played the rest of the series. That was the first game of the season. Like he sat out so that he could play. It was on Monday Night Baseball in Atlanta to hit 715 off Aldama. I don't know if he would have sat or not. I imagine he would have made an out on purpose. He probably would have sit.
And then years later, not that anybody ever wants to talk about this, we found out that he actually did break the record in Wrigley.
Yeah, because now they're saying
top
it was actually
hits counted
41-90.
Yeah.
I don't think they found a hit for him. I think they found one less hit.
They found one less hit, or it was actually 2 less hits for Cobb, because Cobb's official record, I think, stands at 41-89. So he broke it in Chicago, because I believe he had 3 hits that game, right? In Chicago.
Yeah, I think he had 3. Yep. I have that Ty Cobb baseball card back from the 70s, the Topps card. It shows it with the all-time hit record. I remember getting that when I was like 9 or 10 years old and looking at that amount of hits going, oh my God, Ty Cobb. And here we go. My hero winds up beating him.
And for those of you who don't know, Santori Miles is a street name, so to say. I am named after Ty Cobb. So, fun fact.
Except I didn't name you Tyrus.
No, Tyler.
Yeah.
Government name is Tyler. Ugh. That's something the kids say now. They'll call me by my government name.
Government. But yeah, that was an unbelievable moment, and God rest his soul. Pete Rose was awesome.
We'll parlay that into our boys of summer who surprisingly are still in it. I don't think they
Yeah.
really have much of a chance, quite
Yeah,
frankly.
they're losing less than the other teams are losing.
Yes, they
It's kind
are.
of, except for the Giants. The Giants are actually playing well, but the Mets. I mean, it's remarkable. I saw something yesterday. I think I saw it on Twitter. I think McAllister posted it. The Mets have only won 31 of their last 77 games. Think about that one.
Oof.
31 and 46. 15 games under 500 for half the year, and they're still 2 games up in the wild card with 16 games to go. That's how far ahead they were and how far they've fallen.
Oh, I know. The freaking fallen from what's the word?
They had a really big long streak of 20-something games where they lost maybe 15 or 20 or whatever they did.
Is the phrase
And
fallen
then,
from
then
the
they
graces?
they
I can't
righted the
remember
ship
anything.
for about a week, and now they've lost 5 in a row again.
Mhm. I bet that Frank the Tank or whatever is just losing his mind.
No,
I'm sure. I'm sure a lot of that is put on, but it's still
There's
kinda
got to be
funny.
some. Yeah, there's got to be some theatrics there.
Mhm. Well, by your rule of thumb, your mathematics that you share with me every year, granted they're not too far off from your rule of thumb but you want to be about 1 game back for every 10 games left.
I
believe
think
there's
I think you've got a
games
fighting
left.
chance, and they're there.
They got 17 games left. They're 2 back. They have the tiebreaker, so they really don't need the 3. They just need the 2.
Well, they have the
They-
tiebreaker over the
over the
Mets. They
Mets.
don't have the tiebreaker over the Giants.
Yeah, you got to play 2 games better than the Mets, 1 game better than the Giants. Is really what
Yeah.
it comes down to. Playing 2 games better over the course of 17. I mean,
That's
depending
not a
on the
big
team
deal.
you're playing, is not anything outrageous. You know, if
The
they've
thing
got
is, though,
17, you know, if they win, they go 9-8. You got to go 11-6, which that's good baseball. It's not crazy baseball, but it's good baseball, and they're not on that clip right now.
right. Well, the thing is, all 3 of those teams have very difficult schedules.
Mhm.
I know the Giants have their next 9 or 10 games are against. Most of them are against the Dodgers, and the other balance of those games is Arizona.
Yep.
So those aren't easy. And I know the Mets have the Rangers, who are playing very well right now. They've got the Cubs. They've got somebody else that's difficult. I think they got the Phillies again.
Well, what's interesting is just think back to like 2 weeks to go in the NFL season, right? Because typically a 10-game run in baseball is almost on par with 1 game
One
in the
football
NFL,
game.
right?
Yep.
Because it's 162 and 17. So we'll just call it a 10-to-1 ratio. It was like when the Bengals were about 2 games out with 2 to go. They needed to win. They need some help. That felt almost
Reds are not.
impossible.
Well, the
for the
Reds are
Bengals.
not in as dire straits as the Bengals were.
No, the Bengals needed like 19
The Bengals
things
needed
to
so
go
many,
right.
so many things to go right. Frankly, if the Reds play really well, but they've got some tough games coming up. First off, they go to Sacramento to play the A's. They're playing them in a minor league stadium. There's not going to be very many fans there, so the Reds are going to have to generate their own energy, and they don't usually do a good job of that.
No.
So that's a problem. Then they go to St. Louis, which has always been a bit of an issue. May not be so bad right now like it used to be, but it's still a little bit of a hindrance.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come home with 4 for the Cubs. That has been very difficult lately. Then they've got 3 with who do they have between the Cubs and the Brewers?
I don't know. I've given up on this team. This is all you.
I can't remember who the other 3 games are at all. I don't remember who it is, but it's difficult. They're playing difficult teams. If they get in it at this point, they've probably earned it. But I don't see the team rising to the occasion.
I don't think there's
just
ever a
can't
team
hit.
that gets in that doesn't deserve it, but they're definitely got their work cut out for them.
Well, if the Mets get there, they didn't deserve it. I mean, they have folded like an accordion here.
But it depends what they do the final 2 weeks here. I mean, if they win 12 of their next 17 or whatever they got left, then yeah, they're going to win 90 games.
But boy, what an embarrassing slide that is for the most expensive payroll in baseball.
To be chased down by the Cincinnati Reds, who can't.
They're not being chased down, to fall down to the Reds and the Giants and the Diamondbacks and even the Cardinals. Cardinals are only 4 out, I think. or
The
4
Reds are
and a half.
kind of like they're in a relay race, and it's like there's 8 people in the relay race, and
Everybody's
there's-
just running out of gas.
Well, hold on. There's 8 people in the race. The top 7 make it. The Reds are the fat kid who's struggling to stand up, and the Mets just fell down and broke their leg with 100 feet to go. Can the fat kid catch the guy with the broken leg? That's kind of what's going on right now.
Well, the fat kid could figure things out a little better if they could get more production out of Ellie, which I will say, I cannot believe he got a 2-strike, 2-out hit batting right-handed in that situation down a run in the 8th inning yesterday.
Go ahead.
Kudos to him. for
Give
finally-
Ellie his praise because you are his biggest critic, I believe, outside of probably him, because I do believe athletes are their own biggest critics at times. As a Reds fan and someone that you really do want to see him succeed, because if he does well, we do well. Give him this praise for the moment.
Yeah. It was a very, very good at bat. Thank God he came through, because then they turned into the typical Reds in the 9th inning. We're up 2-1, and we have bases loaded, 1 out, and Marte's up, and Marte strikes out. And then Ellie's up, and he hits a check swing 1-hopper to the mound. It's like, that's all we can do in a situation where you have the chance to put that game on ice. There's very little clutchness about this team, and they're not going to go anywhere if they somehow find a way to get to the playoffs. I'm sure they're going to go on the road because they have to play every game on the road in the first series of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine they're going to win 2 out of 3 no matter where they're sent.
Bring on the
Not,
Dodgers.
not with this offense.
Bring on
I
the
can't do
Dodgers.
Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of where it's at right now. I wish them luck. I mean, I watch it every night. My wife doesn't allow me not to watch it. I think she's a bigger baseball fan now than I am, and it's hard for me to admit that.
So I have a struggle with it because a lot of people would see how I approach it and probably call me a fair weather fan, and I understand why people would say that. I can't take the anxiety and the pain every single night when they lose. It hurts too much. The pain of losing, and you and I have talked about this several times. If there's like a scale of emotion, a loss for me is like a 9 or a 10 every night, and a win is like a 2. Like, to me, wins are like, oh, thank God. And a loss is like, I want to go walk into traffic. I can't take it every single night. So I have to distance myself for the betterment of my relationship with my wife, because if I'm that mad all the time, she'll lose her mind. So I have to keep my distance. I absolutely hate the front office, and I truly believe, like with any sport in any franchise, if your front office sucks, you really don't have a chance. They may get lucky. I root for them. I pull for them. I want them to win. I feel bad for the people that can't invest their time constantly into that team, because I can't do it. It hurts me too much. It truly, truly does. I mean, I can remember watching the opening day in 2013. It was the first time I ever really watched a Reds game with my wife. We were dating. I was 19, and I couldn't stand something Dusty Baker did, and I was in college, and I put my remote through the TV. It was her first time watching a Reds game with me, and my remote went through my TV at 19 years old. I can't do it. I don't root for them to lose. I get very, very sarcastic when they do lose. It looks like I want them to lose, but I don't. I can't fathom how the organizations ran, and it means so much to me. It's just like watching somebody you love throw their life away, and you just start just saying, well, screw you, man. Like, that's where I'm at with them. I want them to win. I hope they win. I would love to watch them make the playoffs, because I've only seen the Reds in a playoff game, like 7 times in my life.
You know, the weird
doesn't
thing
happen.
is, people ask me because when I was 8 years old, and that's when I first really started watching baseball, that was in 1972. And that was really in the early stages of the Big Red Machine. So I got to experience one of the greatest teams ever And my dad could get really good tickets at times. I could go down there and have seats 2 feet, 2 rows off the field in the blue seats and watch my heroes play baseball. And they won all the time. And people, I don't know. I don't know if it's harder for me because I've experienced how good that really can be.
You're spoiled.
To watch this, and now it's just so subpar. And it's not, the passion's not there. The skill isn't there.
I didn't grow up with the same game that you did. You didn't grow up in an era with free agency and all the money and all the bullshit. I grew up in an era where from day one it was don't fall in love with this guy. He'll be gone in 2 years. That was my reality.
All sports were better without free agency. College sports. We're going to look back on these college sports, I think, and we're going to figure out down the line that it was much better when we didn't have the NIL.
People are already saying that because the SEC is destroyed.
Right. So, I mean, but over time, you're really going to look back, and it's going to feel like college football all the way up to like 2022 was the golden age of college football. It's going to feel that way. Same thing with college basketball and all the other sports that are affected. I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyway, I think I've said enough about the Reds. We'll see how the next 2 weeks go.
I wish them the best. I really do. I would love to watch the Reds advance in the postseason. There was a graphic I think that NFL Memes put out the other day. It was since Princess Diana died. Of the big four in terms of sports, hockey, NBA, MLB, NFL, all but 3 teams have advanced or won a playoff game in front of their home crowd. Won a playoff game in front of their home crowd. There are 3 teams in the big four that have not. One of them was started like 2 years ago, and that was like the Seattle Kraken in the NHL. So they don't count. The other 2 were the Reds and the Browns.
Yeah, I was at that Reds game. Reds beat the Dodgers 10-1. Mark Lewis from Hamilton, Ohio, hit a grand slam for the Reds, and the Reds won 10-1.
Yes,
we advanced to play the Braves, and the Braves swept us in 4.
My playoff experience with the Reds is getting swept and no hit by Philly. Granted, they were in the playoffs. Being up 2 games
to none, and then getting swept.
And then getting swept by the Giants. Then you had the Cueto game in Pittsburgh the following year in 2013.
That wasn't the Cueto game. The Cueto game was game 1 of the Giant series where Sam LeCure came in to relieve, and we won that game.
No, that was when the Pirates fans were chanting Cueto over and over and over again, and he dropped the ball on the mound in like the first inning.
Well, maybe Cueto pitched that game. I remember that game because I remember Todd Frazier either hit a home run or he just missed a home run, but we lost to the Pirates. That was that 1-game playoff. In 3.
And then in 2020, we had the game with the Braves where we couldn't get a hit.
Well, we had 2 games with the Braves
where we couldn't get a hit. I think
we went 20. I think we went 20 innings and scored 1 run or something like that.
That's my playoff experience with the Reds. That's what I've got in 31 years. I mean, if you want to include the series I was alive for when I was 1.5 years old in 1995, go for it. That's it. And I've never seen them do anything.
And your football postseason was watching the Bengals lose 5 straight years with Andy Dalton.
Mm-hmm. And then Joe Burrow came to town, and it
changed.
We're getting about half a decade removed from that. So I had like 1.5 years of playoff anything in the third of a century that I've been alive. I just don't see it.
So switching gears to the Bengals.
All right.
And I don't want to talk yet about the Cleveland game.
Do we want to talk about Jacksonville?
No, I got a concern.
Okay.
It was 3 years ago.
Air your grievances.
You remember when the Bengals offense couldn't get on track at the beginning of the season, and they kept saying because everybody's playing cover 2.
Yeah.
And the Bengals can't figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping that what we saw Sunday, that there's not something going on with defense that has got the Bengals or Zach Taylor bamboozled and I'm hoping that we're not going to hear in a couple weeks the Bengals just can't get on track because of this, and they're playing them a certain way. I would think that we, with the money that we have spent, with the talent that we know we have, I don't know how anybody could bamboozle us. I can see how teams could slow us down or they could roll some coverage. But when you've got supposedly that many weapons, if a team decides to go one direction to do something, something else has to be open.
Well, the following statements are true. Okay, Joe Burrow is not good in the first couple weeks of the season for whatever reason it is. Obviously, it is not a health thing because he is as healthy as he's ever been, and he's still not good, and that's fine. We just know that he is a slow starter. Obviously, he played in preseason this year. He played well in the first half. I don't know. He got his bell rung in the second half, and maybe he didn't know what was going on. He took some good hits there. I think we can probably, not that people want to hear this because Joe Burrow is God's begotten son in this town. Believe me, I love him too. I think a lot of that's on Joe. I really do. I think he's skittish the first week or two. We know this is a fact. We have 6 years of data on it. We know he struggles against Cleveland. We have 6 years of data on it. I think it's probably a Joe thing. And we also know that come really week 2, he typically plays better, that it sorts itself out. What you've been lucky is you were able to survive the first bullet of this year, which, call it what it was. That game was surviving. A win's a win. They're all grinds. It's a division win. It's a road win. It's a conference win. I'll take all of it. It's great. But it was surviving in that game. I think a lot of it's Joe. People aren't going to want to hear this.
You're probably right because he does not look right ever when he plays in a first game. He always looks slow. He always looks almost confused. Whether it's that or it's some kind of physical ailment. I still don't know what happened a few years ago in Cleveland when he couldn't grip the ball when it was wet. That was the strangest thing I've ever seen.
I know.
Because he's played in plenty
Well, what
of
was weird was when they said it was raining before the game, I went straight back to that and I went, fuck, Joe can't hold the ball now. Like,
right. I told him that. I said, we're going to have he's not going to be able to hold the ball.
I think it's probably a Joe Burrow thing.
I think it's in his head.
I don't think it's a Zach thing. I don't think it's a defense thing. I think it's probably a Joe Burrow thing. I couldn't tell you what it was like at LSU, his first 2 games in those years. I don't know. Maybe he was slow. Maybe he was off to a hot start. Maybe it's college and it didn't matter. But I think it's Joe Burrow finding his footing. And quite frankly, he didn't play terrible in the first half of that game, and everything just kind of fell apart for everybody in the second half. I think part of that's Cleveland. I think part of that's a division game. Part of it's week 1.
I want you to answer a question for me, though. Mm-hmm. I asked you this during the game, and I think our emotions were so high, you just didn't even attempt to answer it.
Okay.
Why is it that Cleveland, on every swing pass, had no Bengals anywhere around them and actually had blockers? We tried it once or twice, and Chase Brown was out there by himself, and there were like 3 Cleveland Brown defenders. Can we not even scheme a screen pass? What happens there where even the simplest things appear to be impossible for the Bengals at times? When the wheels begin to go off, they can't put the wheels back on.
I have 2 answers for you. One, we look at things with, I will say, doom-colored glasses at times. There were plenty of times that they did checkdowns that it did work. There were plenty of time, like the first play of the game was a rollout, and that was the checkdown to Noah Fant in the flat. It's designed for him, but he's the second read, and it went for 16 yards because nobody was in the flat on what is a basic tight end route. It's just a flat route. There were a couple times that Chase Brown did catch a ball and go 5-10 yards. I mean, it is what it is. We tend to remember the downs more than we remember the ups. However, there were definitely times where Cleveland caught it and there's absolutely nobody there. There were times when Cleveland caught it and we had a guy there, but guess what? We missed the tackle. That's my bigger concern. Sometimes it's just a right call against a right scheme. is really what it comes down to. I would have to put on the film and look at every single time they threw a ball to the flat, what was the coverage versus the call, and really come up with a 100% answer for you. But, I mean, I don't know how many times you tell me that, and it's true because you're so used to seeing certain things. You'll say, the Bengals don't look fast today. And it's like, I'll cut on the film, and I'm like, yeah, they look fine. A lot of it is, like you said, just the emotional highs. And when you watch a team you're not used to, or you're not watching every week, and you don't have certain expectations for, and you're not frustrated with, like we look back and we watched the Baltimore game, the first thing you and I said were, man, they look fast out there. Well, they're fast. They give up 40 points. Like, granted, it's Josh Allen, but that's the case. It's a lot of it is confirmation bias. Without cutting on the tape and looking at all the data, a lot of it's confirmation bias. It's just us being frustrated with certain things.
Well, let's just hope that that there's an evolution week to week to week where they get better, because the competition ratchets up week by week by week. Jacksonville is a better team than Cleveland.
We think.
I believe Minnesota is probably a better team than Jacksonville. I certainly feel like Denver is a better team than those two teams.
It is early. We do not know yet.
We don't know yet.
If we're going off last year, sure.
But I believe the competition scales up as we go, and I don't know when we get. We'll call it a break. I haven't looked at the schedule enough to know when the break happens, but I know it's not till like 7th or 8th week at least before we play a team that maybe
the break is.
I'm not talking about a bye week. I'm talking about.
I know what you're saying, but I was going to make a joke and say it's the bye week. I mean, it could be Detroit because they haven't looked up.
No. Don't. Detroit's going to be fine.
You think so?
Yeah. They'll figure it out. I'm just tired of Dan Campbell and all the publicity he gets because he goes for it on 4th down. I mean, just because he's stupid doesn't mean he should get a whole lot of praise. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't work all the time. I mean,
I like Dan Campbell.
I know you do. I just think he's just one of those loudmouth, old school jocks that just screams and does a lot of stuff. And
would we be better with Dan Campbell or Zach Taylor?
I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that. I mean, what's he going to scream at when nobody can block for Joe Burrow?
Well,
that's the key. He's got Penei Sewell. He's got the ability to take and do plays that take 3 and 4 seconds where the Bengals can't do. He could never run any of his fancy stuff.
Maybe that's what he brings, is he's able to get the blocking right. Who knows?
I don't
know. It's all hypothetical because we don't know.
No, I don't think so. Okay. Anyway, so Dart's got something here.
Joe is inertia personified. Once he gets rolling, he's hard to stop. He just has to get started. I would agree with that.
Yeah. Someone needs to give him a little shove.
It is rare that he has an absolute disaster of a game after November. But unfortunately, sometimes getting to November is too late. Like last year. And I say the year before, but he wasn't playing for November the year before.
So in my opinion, we got a gift on Sunday. So let's take that gift and maybe take some of take the pressure off a little bit. Let the steam out a little bit and relax a little bit and play Jacksonville and hopefully play well.
I do want to give some credit where credit's due. Cleveland Stadium was loud. It was loud. They were rocking, and I'm sure because there were a couple timeouts that we had to burn, a couple late snaps, getting a call in. There were some communication issues there, and I want to give Cleveland's fans some credit on that. They did a really, really, really good job of that. Now, take that aspect away. You're at home. It's open in Orange. It's opening day. You're 1-0. You beat Cleveland. It's going to be probably a pretty lively atmosphere. I think people aren't as ginned as they could be because the game was a little ugly last week.
Right.
I think people are going to like that. A lot of people, I don't care much for it, but a lot of people do like the ruler of the jungle thing. You got Sam Hubbard doing that. It's the orange. It's not orange pants, which I thought was weird because I thought it was an all orange thing. It's orange on white.
It is. I didn't know that.
I think that's a better look personally.
Should be orange on black.
Yeah, it's probably too hot. It's gonna be like 80 degrees.
It's probably why it's not gonna matter.
I think they're staying away from it for that reason. But orange on white's a good look. I think you'll probably have a pretty good atmosphere. Here's a fun one. And we can kind of end on this because we're about 40 minutes in at this point. Did you see what Jamar Chase wants?
What he wants?
What he said? I say once. It was more like kind of having fun with it in a press conference. It was lighthearted, not like
I did not see a press conference with him.
He would like to have some kind of catch cheer like T does when T catches and everybody screams T really loud. He said he thinks that would be fun for him. He said, but I don't like Uno because it doesn't sound as good as T. So I don't know. He's like, the fans need to come up with something fun for that. I could see them just running with Uno and he's going to have to deal with it. What a horrible thing. Everybody has a custom cheer. But I don't know what I would do.
I don't know about that one.
Yelling Jamar. I mean, like that's not good.
No, that doesn't work.
Same thing with Chase. It's those long A's that doesn't really say anything there. I stare at Chase while eating Lucky Charms. Yeah, that was who said that? It was in the presser today. Somebody said they stared because he's on the box of Lucky Charms now. So someone made a joke during the presser that they stare at Jamar Chase while eating Lucky Charms, and he said, "Let's not say that. It's weird." But let's get into Jacksonville just a little bit, and then we'll wrap up with some of the Project Game Day stuff going on, and we'll get out of here. But what are your thoughts on as you call him, old long hair?
Long hair.
Long hair.
Well, he hasn't been very good the last few years. At some point, he's still talented. Something's going to click where he's going to have the right coaching staff, the right system. Something will happen. I just hope it doesn't happen Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about Jacksonville. You said their defense is similar to the Bengal defense.
Yes.
I believe is what you said.
Very similar.
Which to me should mean good news for Joe Burrow, I would think.
It's a base hybrid front, meaning they're going to run like a 43 and then they're going to rock down into the same personnel. They're going to run basically a 52. There's going to be some zone coverage or some blitz man behind it. It's not going to be, I don't think, anything confusing. I didn't see anything that warranted like, ooh, that was creative when I watched it. I think they're more fundamentally sound though. I think they're a little bit more physical.
I think the thing that everybody should be a little concerned with, because right now there, in my opinion, there is a false level of feeling decent about their defense.
Sure.
The passing skill sets of long hair, his receivers have to be better than what Cleveland's got. He's got a running game, which Cleveland didn't have. Yes. So the test is going to be a little bit more difficult this week, albeit it's at home. But the Bengals can get shredded at home with the best of them. So I think the defense is going to have to play a really, really, really good game to make up for what's probably still going to be a little bit of a shaky offense in Joe Burrow. I think the offense will be a little better than what we saw last week. Mm-hmm. Probably not appreciably better, but a little bit better. But I think the defense is going to have an above-average game.
I would say they're going to be at least one score better. I don't know if that's getting them to 20 or 24, but I think that they would be one score better on offense. I am with you. I have no idea what to expect from the defense. There were some things that I would like to see ironed out. I think the pass rush is better than people think it is. Cleveland has a good line. They did get pressure. The Browns were not throwing the ball very far, and they were not holding it very long, which makes it look like the pressure is not there. But the pressure was good. The line was good.
And long hair can move.
Long hair can move. I do think that they play in a vacuum, though. They throw a lot of quick stuff, a lot of screens. You'll see a lot of – I don't know if you noticed it. There was a route that Cleveland ran 2 or 3 times, and you actually called it out when it was happening on one, where there's 2 stacked receivers. They both kind of run to the right, and then one runs a delayed slant inside. They run similar concepts. They're going to pick if they know the Bengals are in zone, they're going to do quick slants underneath linebackers, drag routes, stuff to the flat where they think they can high-low somebody. trying to flood zones. I mean, they're going to try and play chess with the short pass game. So the Bengals need to be able to come up and tackle because a lot of it's going to be in front of them the entire game. Very similar to what Cleveland did. And I know that everybody saw that ETN ran for like $140 last week. Keep in mind, 70 of that was on one play. So he had 15 for 70, which is 4 yards a carry. Still very formidable, but nothing to write home about. They traded their backup running back to Philadelphia this week. Tank Bigsby, whatever. He's no longer there.
Big me.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, Big Mac's no longer there. Travis Hunter, they said, is going to play more on defense this week than he is offense, so you don't have too much to worry about with him. I'm sure there's going to be some trick plays. That's how I think they should use him, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see an end around with him. You're going to see maybe a shuttle pass or something. You'll see
reverse. It's going to be get him the ball in space, or even just a deep cross occasionally. I think the Bengals
just need to get in front and stay in front to eventually turn Jacksonville a little more one-dimensional. Because I'm sure if we get up by 7 to 10 points and it's late in the second quarter, they're going to be throwing almost every down. And if we can maintain that into the third quarter, we're going to turn them into one-dimensional.
What I would like to see is a slightly different approach on the early downs, because I understand the bend but don't break approach. But I think what the Bengals are going to slowly realize is that they have a formidable pass rush. I think Stewart's going to be good. There was really a lot to like on that film with him. You know what you got in Trey. Slayton gives you a little bit more than you realize, and so does BJ Hill. I do think that there's something to like there. I really want to see them be a little bit more aggressive on first and second down and try to force them into these long third downs. Your pass rush is only good when quarterbacks are uncomfortable. They got to do things outside the scheme. No one's going to get a sack when somebody's trying to throw a quick slant. That shit doesn't happen. Sacks happen on long developing plays, or when you're trying to push the ball, 9, 10, 12 yards downfield, or God forbid, take a shot. That's when sacks happen. I think the Bengals have a good pass rush, but when you're playing bend but don't break and making them convert 3 and 4 third downs at a time, you're putting teams in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 1 situations where your pass rush is now a non-factor.
Right.
I would like to see them be a little bit more aggressive on first or second down and try to get somebody behind the chains, because I think 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, you might see some of these guys flourish a little bit. And when your pass rush is getting there, we saw it twice last week. Both of those interceptions or when Flacco either had to move in the pocket or receivers had to get downfield and your corners were able to be physical downfield with them. That's not a coincidence. Those are not lucky interceptions. Those are a product of situation and circumstance.
Does long hair tend to force the ball in situations, or does he not do that?
I don't know. I'll be honest. He has had some issues with it in the past. But, I mean, you're in year 5 now of him. So who knows? Tyler's finally here, late from work. It's all right. We won't write you up. But I want to pivot over to Project Game Day really quick. It is our first tailgate this year. We got Gold Star is going to be there. We'll be down there at 9 a.m. Garage Beer is going to have a booth set up. We have Buskin Cookies are going to have some cookies and stuff there. And we are raffling off a autographed Sam Hubbard jersey. That's only going to be in person. It's $5 a ticket. We're going to do everything there at the tailgate. I'm sure it'll be cash and Venmo or however it needs to be done. But we do have a autographed Sam Hubbard jersey that was donated to us that we are going to be raffling off before the game. So if you're down there, get some conies, get some beer, maybe get a jersey, get some cookies, have a good time. Let's see if we can beat Jacksonville.
Let's see.
I'm ready to rock and roll. It would be fantastic. I don't think Zach Taylor's ever been 2-0. That is uncharted territory.
I don't think he's ever been 1-0.
He has been 1-0 one time.
Has he?
We went to the Super Bowl that year. He has a 100%.
Oh, that's right. Who did we beat? The Vikings?
Minnesota. That was Chase's first game. That's where he caught the fade in the second quarter. And
that's where the guy fumbled in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kicked field goal. All right. Well, thank you to everybody for joining. It's a good day. I don't really have anything mean to say, but normally I say something along the lines of F Jacksonville. I don't have the hate in my heart for them.
I don't have any hate right now. I'm just going to say go Reds and go Bengals.
Go Reds, go
Let's have a good
Bengals.
week.
And I hope that the concessions on the plane ride in for Jacksonville are less than ideal, and they get those awful garlic pretzels that you like a lot.
Oh, I like in the purple bag. I like.
Yeah, those things are disgusting.
Nah, those are good.
They're awful, both of you.
Delicioso.
Delicioso. All right. Thank you for joining, everybody. We'll see you again next Thursday. Who Day?